It's Wednesday, June 20th. Storms pelt the area with golf ball-size hail. See amazing video sent in by you. Plus,
I was very lucky.
how a sheriff's deputy is feeling after a stop gone wrong. No more in 60 seconds. A sudden hailstorm crashed across Minnesota today, and from this video sent in by a viewer, you can see huge chunks of ice falling from the sky. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Amelia Santinello.
And I'm Don Shelby. Hope you didn't get caught in that kind of weather. Let's go straight to Paul Douglas. We're still seeing some bad weather out there, Paul.
Yeah, it's still pretty rough, especially on the St. Paul side of the river right now. Don and Amelia, what a day. We went from blue sky 92 to towering cumulonimbus, literally stretching about 10 miles into the atmosphere, capable of baseball-sized hail. All that in the span of about 15 to 20 minutes. Check Doppler. We have some new warnings. One batch down around La Center, Faribault, Owatonna. There are warnings in effect Le Sueur, Rice, Waseca, and Steele County. We can go in and show you everything in purple is hail. Where you see the black within the purple, that's large damaging hail, possibly anywhere from ping pong size up to baseball size. And new warnings have been issued, Ramsey and Northern Dakota County till 10:15. Very strong storms right over downtown St. Paul, tracking off to the southeast. People in West St. Paul, South St. Paul, Woodbury, Cottage Grove should be prepared to take shelter. No signs of any tornadoes. The danger is hail, and there was significant damage all across the metro this evening. More on that coming up, Don.
Oh, I look forward to it. Thank you very much, Paul. Many of us just saw some heavy rain, maybe some small hail, or nothing at all.
But folks, about 45 minutes north of the Twin Cities saw some of the biggest hail from the storm. Bridget Bornstein is up I-35 in Harris right now. Bridget?
Yeah, Don and Amelia, it's hard to believe in these warm temps that there is still hail on the ground. Take a look at this. Look at this. Every yard around here looks like this. It looks like someone came here to go golfing and they left these golf balls behind. It looks like this all over this neighborhood.
It was scary. We ran to the basement. Glass was flying all over. All of a sudden it started blowing and the hail came and everything just flew.
Peggy Skelly just got all new windows a year ago. Well, she needs new windows again.
We still have a lot on the ground. The yard's destroyed. The flower gardens are gone. So we have to start all over again.
I mean, it got just black, dark. And then all of a sudden it wasn't even raining. Just the hail. It started to fall.
Home after home, there are shards of glass strewn all over the tattered lawns. Even this barbecue got walloped.
The grill is still hot from supper, but that's hail damage.
John Mills showed us what happened to his daughter's car. His grandchildren were in the back seat.
And thought she could get home to Cambridge in time, and it just came so fast that it shattered the windshield. She jumped in the back to cover the kids, and glass flew all over.
Wow, Bridget, we heard that some reports that hail up there was as big as 4 inches wide.
Yeah, I saw some that was as large as a tennis ball. Take a look at this, Steve Dick. He had this in his freezer. Look at that. That is really pretty incredible. We did check with the county of Chisago, and they say that, fortunately, no reports of injuries tonight.
That is fortunate. Thank you, Bridget. And we want to thank viewers for helping us cover this storm.
We got a bunch of pictures, even some video through our website at WCCO.com. This is some of the best stuff we've seen. It's more of that video we showed you at the top of the show. Jim and Renee Sattler from Sartell sent this in. And over in Cambridge, Sally Jo snapped this picture on her deck. You can see wind knocked a big table right over. And here's the calm after the storm, a beautiful rainbow sent in by a viewer in Sauk Rapids. To send your pictures or videos, head to WCCO.com/weather. You'll find links near the bottom of the page. Also, check out Live Radar for your zip code anytime.
Tonight, a Minnesota Sheriff's deputy is looking forward to getting back to work after a scary traffic stop and high-speed chase. It happened last night on Highway 212 here in McLeod County, just west of the Twin Cities, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Deputy Jennifer Mueller pulled over this driver who was wanted in another county for domestic assault. James Schugel shows us what happened next.
It only lasted 6 seconds, but it felt much longer.
I'm lucky.
Jennifer Mueller is truly thankful for the outcome. She bruised her knee, cut her arms in the incident Monday night, and today she's talking about her feelings.
I could have broke bones. It could have been a lot worse. I was very, very lucky.
And she's talking in depth about what happened near Stewart, Minnesota. When she pulled over Jerry Dean Birch, she knew authorities in Renville County were looking for him. He allegedly beat his girlfriend. Then he pushed her through a window.
Asked him repeatedly to get out of the car. He obviously didn't listen to me. Instinctively, I just tried to grab his arm or, stop him from trying to start the car. And then he just tried to shut the door with me still in it.
All she can remember thinking, she wanted it to be over. She fell on her head.
It was kind of scary, but I mean, it happened so fast, you don't really have time to be scared.
She gets back in her squad car and continues in the chase until it ends. And
Deputy Mueller and other deputies arrested Burt 3 miles down the road. Now he's in jail. She's making plans to go back to work.
God was watching over me that day.
The McLeod County attorney charged the driver today with 2 felonies, and he faces years in prison if he's found guilty. This next accused criminal's job was to help victims and witnesses of crimes, but investigators think that she betrayed their trust.
But tonight, her employer says he feels betrayed, too. Keisha Green worked at the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. She's now accused of selling addresses, phone numbers, and names of witnesses in a murder trial and an armed robbery trial. Luckily, the information went straight to an undercover police officer, and everything was recorded. The Hennepin County attorney said today he doesn't think any other case has been compromised. Tonight, fire investigators are blaming careless smoking for starting an apartment fire that put 70 families out of their home for a whole week. It broke out last Thursday here at the Raven Hills apartment building in Burnsville. Flames and smoke caused more than $2 million in damage. Folks in 18 apartments got to move back today. The others are still being fixed. The person responsible for starting the fire will not be charged with a crime.
After 3 years of defending himself against accusations that he molested teenage patients, a Twin Cities pediatrician will soon go back to work. His supporters applauded when Dr. James McLeod was found not guilty of abuse back in 2006. It took the state medical board another 1.5 years to finish its investigation, clearing Dr. McLeod, and he got back his license to practice just today. Our Jason DeRusha asked if he worried patients would stay away because of the allegations.
No, I don't think the allegation at all will be a cloud. I think that the people who have stood by me will continue to stand by me. There's no reason anything, it's changed me. Something like that would change anybody, and I will be particularly careful in the office that no situation could ever arise that would allow another false allegation to occur.
Dr. McLeod expects he'll be back in his office within a couple of weeks.
It sounds like a good idea. Higher fuel efficiency standards for our cars, but maybe not. New radio ads blast a proposal to force automakers to make more cars to get better gas mileage. Pat Kessler shares a reality check. Plus,
what did you wear at your wedding?
I wore a white wedding dress.
but why do brides do that? How much do we really know about the wedding traditions we see all summer? Your good questions about weddings next on WCCO 4 News at 10.
Summer is a season for saying I do and for RSVPing to all those weddings.
But for better or for worse, how much do we really know about the marriage traditions we're supposed to love and cherish? Tonight, Ben Tracy answers your good questions about one of the most important days of our lives.
What was your wedding like?
My wedding was a complete disaster, and I don't know where I was, and almost everything went wrong.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, most weddings only have the one hitch.
What did you wear at your wedding?
I wore a white wedding dress.
Did you know why the bride typically wears white?
To symbolize virginity.
I think a lot of that has to do with the color of purity.
That's why I wore it.
But historically, the color of purity is blue.
White is the color of joy.
Oh.
Brides used to just wear their best dress until this French queen popularized the white one in 1499.
What did you carry down the aisle when you got married?
A bouquet of roses.
Do you know why you carried a bouquet?
Oh, I have no idea, because everyone does.
Actually, I do know where that comes from.
Back before daily bathing was a common practice?
It was to cover up the body odor.
That's true, but originally brides carried garlic and herbs.
Garlic.
To ward off evil spirits. Oh. Do you know why guys have these other guys who stand up there next to them?
Do you just want to get all your friends together one last time before, you know, you're tied to a sinking ship? I don't know.
A long time ago, guys used to kidnap the woman that they wanted to marry, and then they would fend off other guys who wanted that same woman. Strange, huh?
Yeah, very strange.
All right, do you know the history of the wedding cake?
I don't think anybody goes to weddings for the cake. I think they're really there for the booze.
So why is there a cake?
I don't know, because it's been that way forever.
Wheat is a sign of fertility, so a long time ago, they used to throw a piece of cake at the bride or break one over her head.
As to ensure that she would get pregnant if she was not already such.
Right. You go to a wedding just to see
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's a good time.
I was one of the few people in our family to actually not be pregnant when she got married, so we didn't really probably need that anyway.
And viewers like Laura from Minnetonka also wanted to know, what's up with the whole something old, something new tradition?
Well, those are pretty self-explanatory, but something blue, well, besides purity, that color also symbolized faithfulness in biblical times, and that's why a bride's garter is often blue. You're invited to send Ben a video email with your own good questions. Just hook up your webcam and click the link at WCCO.com/goodquestion.
Tonight, Minnesota lawmakers are asking the state's top health leader to step down. They're upset the Department of Health kept information about a spike in cancer deaths secrets a year. 58 miners who worked at taconite plants on the Iron Range since the late 1980s died from a rare form of cancer. Health Commissioner Diane Mandernock says that her office withheld data to do more tests. She now says that was a mistake.
In 2 weeks, we can also sleep a little easier knowing we're safer. New mattress safety standards start July 1st. Any mattress you buy in the United States will have better protection from fire. Safety experts say this move could save nearly 300 lives each year. The U.S. Senate may soon require car makers to make the cars and trucks we drive each day get better gas mileage.
But automakers are flooding the radio with ads that say any higher mileage requirements would lead to cars that are less safe and more expensive. Hey, Pat Kessler, how about a reality check?
The folksy radio ads were paid for by a well-funded industry trade group of the world's largest automakers. They were trying to stop Congress from passing tougher fuel efficiency standards.
Well, you see your truck? Yeah. They want to set the same fuel economy standard for pickup trucks that they use for cars. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
This is false. Currently, passenger cars must average 27.5 miles a gallon, a standard set in 1975. Light trucks, minivans, and SUVs need to get 22.2. Congress wants to raise all of this to an average of 35 miles a gallon by 2020. Trucks could be lower, passenger cars higher. But get ready. Automakers warn better mileage will cost you.
When you buy that new pickup, it's going to really jack up the price.
This is possible, but we don't know for sure. Developing new technology for better mileage could cost thousands more per vehicle. The National Academy of Sciences says costly new technology would include new powertrain designs to propel vehicles or new designs just to make them lighter. But the Academy also reports the money saved on gasoline would far offset any higher cost.
I know it's a little bigger than others, but we really feel safe in it.
Well, I hope you're planning on holding on to it for a while.
Why?
Because Congress is about to pass a law that's going to make it harder and harder to find a car like yours.
This is among the most questionable and controversial claims. On the one hand, there is evidence that heavier pickups and SUVs are safer for the occupants. But it's actually more dangerous for anyone else, including passengers in smaller cars or pedestrians hit by heavier vehicles. But that's not the whole story. Drivers are demanding better mileage at the same time gas prices are hitting record highs. A political coincidence of events that could force Congress to act. That's Reality Check.
Thanks, Pat. To know more about the fuel economy standards and how the government comes up with its averages, click Reality Check on WCCO.com.
Well, some of us saw hail land in our backyards tonight. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, one homeowner looked out to see a plane. Check this out. The single-engine plane crashed nose first into a patio. A neighbor pulled the pilot from the wreckage. Investigators say the pilot ran out of fuel. He is expected to be okay, though.
Paul Douglas joins us right now. Busy night for Paul, and still some trouble out towards St. Paul in the western part of Wisconsin. But 4-inch hailstone, that's the size of a softball.
Yeah.
You saw the damage. I've never seen damage like that.
And that requires, Don, a 100-mile-an-hour updraft.
Wow.
And if you have an updraft at 100 miles an hour, that means a heightened possibility of a tornado. That's all a tornado is, a severe updraft. And so that's why the National Weather Service got nervous, rightfully so, why the sirens sounded in Carver County and Wright County earlier. Check this out, hail from Sartell. Adam and Mary Swanson took this video. They counted at least 50 dents in their aluminum siding, smashed a back light. Keep in mind, a baseball-sized hailstone is going to hit the ground at over 100 miles an hour. And today those hailstones were whipped along by 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. No reports of any confirmed tornadoes. That's the good news. LeSueur, Rice, Waseca, Steele County still under a severe thunderstorm warning at this hour. Warnings in effect right now for Dakota County, Ramsey County, Washington County, Pearson, St. Croix County, Wisconsin also under a severe thunderstorm warning. These storms have just blossomed right over the metro in the last 20 minutes. Sort of a second wave coming through. Let me dial up the other Doppler radar source, and everything in purple is severe hail. Cottage Grove getting hit pretty hard right now. 2-inch hail. Not as big as earlier, but still ping-pong size south of River Falls at this hour. Tomorrow, the first day of summer, the summer solstice. That's right, we have 15 hours and 36 minutes of daylight. In theory, the best day of the year to get a tan or a burn. Sunrise 5:27, sunset 9:03. It will feel like summer. 92 today. For the 10th time, we hit 90. 79 out there right now. Low 60s north, low 80s south. That frontal boundary parked right over the metro, and it's going to act like a thunder magnet again tomorrow. There's a slight chance that a few of the storms late afternoon and evening could turn severe. A high once again right around 90 degrees. The good news is badly needed rain, off and on showers and storms. The heaviest rain tomorrow night, Friday morning. Thunderstorms, a few severe south and east of St. Paul. I think the real threat now just south and east of St. Paul. 90 tomorrow, partly sunny. Once again, a few storms could be hefty. And Amelia, the good news is the computers print out. I have good news. 1.5 inches of rain. Not everybody will see that much, but the good news is we're getting some badly needed rain, hopefully without the baseball-size hail. I saw Rosie out taking a few swings earlier. That was brave,
the golf ball size
brave
hail?
and dangerous.
Thanks, Paul. A Bloomington man is in jail after police found more than 1,200 marijuana plants inside an Apple Valley home he was allegedly using as a greenhouse for pot. Tonight, Don says Thomas Jefferson, who hoped for a nation of farmers, didn't quite have this in mind.
The Department of Agriculture doesn't keep figures on the cash value of illegal crops, but since Minnesota is one of the biggest ag states in the nation, I thought you'd be interested in what I found. The #1 cash crop in the United States is not corn or soybeans or wheat or vegetables per se, but pot, weed. The average production value of pot grown in the United States, all of it illegally, is $36 billion a year. Corn is next. And even with a boost in the bushel price ethanol is providing, the best it can muster is $23 billion. Marijuana returns more money on investment, 35 times more money, than all of the sugar beets grown here or anywhere. Marijuana's crop value is greater than all of the apples, rice, oranges, tobacco, sorghum, cotton, peanuts, barley, peaches, and beans grown in the United States put together. And every penny of that $36 billion is untaxed. Nobody but the crooks get a dime of that money. That's un-American. It's un-British. Come to think about it, it's kind of Colombian.
The Twins wrap up their series against the Mets on the road, but we all want to know, are we going to be calling Bert Blyleven Baldy Bert?
You can go with that. It's been a fun couple of nights for the Twins. Bert Blyleven loves to make calls in the broadcast booth, and his promise to shave his head if Johan Santana threw a complete game shutout last night cost him his locks today. So in the Twins clubhouse late this afternoon, Santana took great pleasure in giving Bert his buzz cut. Nothing fancy, forget the shampoo or the precise styling. Johan breezed through this as quickly as he breezed through the Mets lineup and throwing his first shutout in 2 years last night. Bert said it was his first buzz cut since he was a senior in high school. Doesn't he? Yeah. Santana admitted he was thinking about this during the game in the 9th inning.
Pretty good. You know, it's always a good feeling. I mean, it's all about having fun, and at the same time, I mean, I'm very serious about everything that I do, and but at the same time, it's all about having fun, and it was a fun time. And then he cut his hair. He's always funny and doing a lot of things, and then we finally get a chance to get him.
Thank you. Well, tonight, Scott Baker was pitching for his job security, and he did his part against the Mets with 5 solid innings, allowing just 2 runs. His performance will keep him in that starting rotation. Trailing 2-1 in the 5th, Torrey Hunter struck the big blow. He had 2 strikes, but boy, he guessed right here. A 2-run homer that just cleared the fence and left with the wind blowing in. His 15th of the year, and the Twins never looked back. Joe Mauer showing real signs of getting his timing back after that long injury layoff. This was a vintage Mauer swing. Opposite field gapper, a 2-run double, which gave the Twins a commanding 6-2 lead, and drawing a Shea Stadium full of boo birds directed at their beloved Mets. 6-2 the final. The Twins are off tomorrow, then face the Marlins in Florida on Friday. Hey, Sammy Sosa became the 5th player in baseball history to hit 600 home runs, connecting against, of all teams, the Chicago Cubs, where he was a 7-time All-Star. Now with the Texas Rangers, Sosa joins Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, and Willie Mays as the only ones to reach that historic milestone. Well, the quality of the Timberwolves offseason will be determined by how the Juwan Howard trade fits into the puzzle. If this is their only introductory news conference of the summer, then they're in trouble. But could the biggest move be a much-rumored trade of Kevin Garnett? Kevin McHale played it coy, as usual.
Who knows what's going to happen, but we're not out actively shopping Kevin Garnett around the NBA, I can tell you that much. We've had different phone calls. We've had different phone calls every year. You know, every trading deadline, every time that this year. This is just one of those times that a lot of stuff happens and everybody starts throwing it out there like it's fact.
Well, this is a fact. They worked out 2 more big-name draft prospects, Florida big man Al Horford and Georgetown swingman Jeff Green, with point guards Tareen Green and A.C. Law coming for more tryouts and looks tomorrow afternoon. Well, sports is full of fighters, the Fighting Irish, Fighting Illini, and even the old Fighting Saints, but no Fighting Cubby, at least not anymore, when we return. Catchers are supposed to be fiery leaders, but if you go too fiery, well, just ask Michael Barrett. The Cubs shipped him to the Padres today because he's had a couple of much publicized fights with his own pitchers. In fact, they paid the Padres $1.5 million to take him and got back former Twins catcher Rob Bowen. But it's his connection to another former Twin catcher that first caught our attention. He's the guy who punched out A.J. Przinsky last year, becoming a folk hero to some for doing what so many would have loved to do in the American League, irritated with A.J.'s histrionics. But all good things come to an end, I guess, for the poor guys out of Chicago now.
All right, Rosie, thank you.
Here's one last look at our severe weather right now and where it is. And what we can expect tomorrow, that's coming up next.
What a light show, almost continuous lightning. This is our live camera at the airport looking towards St. Paul. A lot of thunderstorm activity out there right now. And there's Doppler radar showing most of the storms now south and east of St. Paul. Still some ping pong to possibly baseball-sized hail, Cottage Grove to River Falls. The worst of it is over. What a day.
You ever seen damage like you saw up in Harris up there on the side of that house?
Not from hail, not recently.
Yeah, looked like they just took at it with a
How about
baseball
that grill,
bat.
that steel grill, too,
Yep.
yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us.
Debbie Letterman is next. Good night, everyone.